featuring your host, empowerment psychic Halley Elise. She is an author, psychic, and media personality and has been listed as one of the top 100 psychics in America. Empowerment psychic Halley Elise shares the spiritual, metaphysical, holistic, and magical powers of the universe. Follow Halley on her website at HalleyElise.com, and all her shows can be seen via live stream video. Now, here's your host, empowerment psychic Halley Elise.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. This evening is going to be a little bit different, somewhat hodgepodge, almost, let's say, like an open mic night. So I'm going to give you the phone number. It's 888-565-1470. I wanted to chat with everyone about how are they feeling about the holidays, all kidding aside, not the celebratory part, but are you running into people that are not in a great mood? Or running into people that feel harried and hurried, running into people that seem like they're just off kilter. It's fascinating that during this time of the year, there's so much to celebrate. You know, we're really reminded of family, being grateful, celebrating our heritage and our history and traditions. And some of us who don't always go to the synagogue or to the church, you know, will take the time to do it during this time because they can be with family. They take that extra moment. And yet, all around us, you've got people cutting you off in traffic. You have people that you smile and say hello, and they grimace. You have people that are just not getting it. And I don't mean to be funny, but here we are with an opportunity at the end of the year to say, okay, here's life, and how do I want to celebrate it? What do I want to do with it? And then, of course, you know, the New Year's is right around the corner. I think it's fascinating because so many people start with their resolutions. And I was sharing with a friend the other day, resolutions don't work for me. The idea that I have to be resolved to something that I can't change my mind on doesn't work. Maybe it's a Libra thing. I don't know, that whole going back and forth. But I would rather make goals, knowing that I can tweak them as I get closer to them, or knowing that if something is not really showing up in my life the way that I want it, that I can adjust it. So I have a little conflict, as you can see, with resolutions. By the same token, I don't believe we have to wait till the end of the year to decide that we want to make changes. And that kind of brings me to the next thing that I want to share this evening, meditation. You keep hearing about it from me, and I have different guests on who will tell you how beneficial it is in so many ways. It's not just about stress management, though it is a huge component for that. It truly is about taking time for you, reconnecting with yourself, connecting to the divine, and a whole world opens up. People say that when they meditate, they seem to find more abundance in their life in all areas. They seem to sleep better. There's more mental acuity. There's so many benefits. And a friend just phoned me the other day from Maryland, and he was saying that, you know, this is the time now to push meditation. And I had to laugh. I said, why? He says, well, haven't you been watching the news? Haven't you seen it in the, you know, the magazines? It's all over the place. And I said, yeah, but it's been all over the place for a really long time. It's not like it's a new idea. Buddhists, monks, and Sufi and ancient people from all across the world have known about meditation for centuries. And really and truly, most people meditate and don't even realize there's that getting lost in your thoughts when you are cooking or dancing or singing or just listening to music, or if you are really engaged in someone's company and time just seems to go by and you have no recollection of it, you're actually meditating. Meditating is a shift in consciousness, and it's a matter of going from your beta, which is that normal state, to alpha, just one level. That one level gives you an opportunity to create quickly. It gives you an opportunity to make things happen. There is something known as the Silva method, which has been around for so long. And Jose Silva, who originally came up with that particular method, is no longer here. But his daughter is carrying on the ideas and technologies and philosophies. And there are many different people out there that talk about meditation. I believe that Shakti Gawain, who some of you may know and some may not, because it's a name that's been around for a long time, but hasn't been in the media recently. One of the easiest ways to connect is to look at one of her books or attend one of my classes. I don't want to shoot myself in the foot here, but all kidding aside, I found years and years and years ago that she had information that was so easy to follow. And actually, my book, Treasures Within, Meditation with a Friend, also so easy. I have people that come up to me and go, oh my gosh, there's so much information in there, and it's just a breeze to go through. And I feel always, if you attend one of my galleries or you have a session with me in the office, you find that simple is better for me. Yes, you could have a long, drawn out study period for anything that you choose to elect into your life, but you don't have to. You can do things that are quick and easy, that are beneficial, that really take hold. So think about, as you're going into the new year, not just what you want to achieve as far as position or romance or buying that house, but think about evolving yourself. Really taking some time for you. And again, not in respect to appearance per se, but inside. What does the heart feel like? What does it feel like when you wake up in the morning? Do you wake up and feel like, yes, I'm in a great mood, I'm going to start my day? Or do you wake up in the morning and think, oh, another day? And a lot of this I've spoken about before, but I really feel very impassioned about it because it is the tail end of the year. And if anything, during the holidays, you really need to connect with yourself. You really need to take that moment and just go, take a breath. Now, something I used to do with my daughter when she was little, and she used to get really ticked off because she would try to turn it around on me, and sometimes I wouldn't play, is, what are you grateful for? When you're angry, name 3 things that you're grateful for. And initially people are like, leave me alone. I don't want to do that. I'm not grateful in this moment. I'm angry. Leave me alone. But really, when you stop and you think about 3 things, just 3 things, it could be anything. It could be, well, I'm breathing. That's kind of a good thing. I'm grateful for that. Or it can be about, I have a car. I can get from point A to point B. It can be, tomorrow is going to be my day off. It really can be anything. Excuse me. Seems like I get a frog when I get into the station for some reason. But anyways, that whole gratitude thing, when my daughter was little, she would get agitated about something, and I'd say, stop. Tell me 3 things you're grateful for. And she'd say, and she'd fuss and carry on like a little crazy person. And ultimately, she would go ahead and do it, though. And then if she angered me about something or did something that I got annoyed about, she would turn it around. And that's when I would not always play because she needed to do whatever it was. Now, though, going to the grocery store, I have to go, okay, what am I grateful for? Okay, I'm taking a deep breath and I'm naming 3 things. Okay, yes. I get into the car and people are crazy and running stoplights. And I had to laugh. I was on the expressway doing, I think, about 70, 75, staying with the flow of traffic. And somebody zipped by me, and I swear they were doing 100. And I have a fast little car, but really, there's an inundation of people on the roadways right now. You're going to go as fast as you can to what? Try to get into an accident? If you're rushed, breathe. I mean, literally, while you're driving, take a deep breath. Obviously, don't close your eyes, but take a breath. Pay attention to what's going on. Feel what's going on inside of you. If you're feeling hurried, then that's the perfect time to just say, okay, what am I grateful for? Or take a breath. Or put on your favorite song on the radio. But get out of that space. You can literally reach for a higher space or a higher emotion, a better feeling, a better way to look at things instantaneously. It does not have to be drawn out. As I said, I like quick and simple. On my website, if you take a look at HalleyElise.com, on the front page, there's a quickie there. I won't tell you what it is, but if you haven't seen the site, take a look. It's something literally that can change your state of emotion. It can change your energy level. It can change where you're sitting in that segment of your life in that moment in, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. It's worthwhile taking a look at, and it doesn't cost you anything. Okay. If you're listening and you're thinking, oh, wait, I have something to say about the crazy people, or I'm finding that I'm really paying more attention to myself now because of all the chaos going on, you can give a call this evening. It's 888-565-1470. Okay. I'm going to just, like I said, do a little hodgepodge there. I'm having so much fun. I don't know about the rest of you, but for me, the holidays is not about the hustle and the bustle and running to the mall. It really isn't. I try to find these shops off the beaten track, and I've tried to find things that are a little different than what someone would expect. So for instance, if they need socks, I'm not going to get you a pair of crew socks in a Ziploc bag that, you can open and close and what have you. I'm going to look for the funniest or the fluffiest or the softest or something that takes it out of character, makes it yours, makes it different. Or perhaps I'll find you something that isn't a sock but does the same thing. Think about that for a moment. My creativity, I was sharing with someone the other day, is just off the wall out of nowhere. It seems like everything I look at during this time of the year, it becomes something else. And actually, I'll go back to my book for just a moment. When the book was published, my co-author and I, John Castaghini, we put in different quotes that we felt really had meaning and, something that somebody could look at and connect to right away. And one of them was, for me, was everything you see is much more than you think you see. And that's mine. And I find that to be true all the time, but I especially find it at this time of the year. I'm going down the street and I see, for instance, somebody's left a bed railing outside for the trash pickup. And I'm thinking, oh, if you cut that and you put a finial here and you hang that there, look, it could be a makeshift fireplace. And I was sharing this, and the person I was sharing with, they went, wow, you could actually do that. Another friend I was talking to, so I think, by the way, this is a thread that seems to be taking place. Another friend, all of a sudden, he is coming up with the most brilliant ideas. And I keep going, copyright those, trademark those, start. There's, speaking of start, did you know there was something called Kickstart or Kickstarter? And it's online, and it's a way to help you fund. I think it's considered a group fund or group funding type of site. It's a way to help you fund whatever it is that you have an interest in. So, for instance, you came up with that phenomenal art project during Christmas Eve, and you'd love to do it, but you have no way. You might want to look into that. Talk about alleviating stress. If you have a brilliant idea, and everybody you talk to tells you how fabulous it is, and you want to do something with it, get the help you need. Not because you are groveling, but because you're looking in a different direction, and even using your creativity to create your outcome. See, this again is where that whole meditation thing comes in. And it's not that you have to specifically meditate, even though I'm going to phrase this in a way that'll make more sense and be more cohesive. If you meditate on a consistent basis, twice a day, you will find, and this is without a doubt and has been proven by all the medical journals and science and quantum physics and just people that you know, but you will find without a doubt that your life changes. People are nicer. You move through life easier. We'll pick up on this in just a moment. We're going to take a quick break. Thank you.
Bob, did you see Halley Elise in the paper?
Who?
The empowerment psychic, Halley Elise. They did a 2-page write-up. The columnist was enthralled. Halley went right to an issue that she was dealing with. I'm looking at HalleyElise.com right now.
What are you thinking? Should we schedule an appointment?
Matter of fact, yes. You have issues with Sue and me, my business. Take a look at her background. It's impressive, and she has decades of experience.
I want to put it on my iPad. What's her info?
Empowerment Psychic Halley Elise. HalleyElise.com. 561-755-2166.
Spell it?
HalleyElise.com.
So it's HalleyElise.com and 561-755-2166, right?
561-755-2166. That's it.
You're listening to Empowerment Psychic Halley Elise, and she invites you to visit her website for more information about all that she does at HalleyElise.com. Now, back to your host, Empowerment Psychic Halley Elise.
Hi, welcome back. Just before break, I was saying about how if you meditate consistently twice a day, you can find that your life truly changes and there are phenomenal results. But let's say you don't really have that time, and let's say you tried to meditate. You closed your eyes, you sat down, you took a deep breath, and everything else in the world showed up in your life. And you went, yeah, that whole meditation thing, not for me. Just a little while ago, I was saying that meditating is not always what you think it is. It could be baking those cookies or watching that movie, doing other activities. Actually, the best way to meditate is allowing your mind, if you will, to separate from its daily chores. to tap into that creative aspect. And again, during the season, I'm seeing more and more people doing this. They will be contemplating something. And by the way, that is a form of meditation. When you contemplate and you sit and just mull over something and you allow yourself to come up with a list of things, ideas, information, resources, that's a form of meditating. It's not just brainstorming. You are allowing your mind to let go of everything else in that moment and just focused on one thing. So I'm going to make a suggestion here for those of you that really want to tap into your own creativity. Perhaps you're not yet ready to attend a class, but you'd like to see some benefits. Breathe. Yes, I know I've said that before and it sounds really stupid. Breathe, but really and truly, take a deep breath. Notice how good it feels. Actually, let's do that right now. Seriously, even if you're driving, you don't, again, close your eyes, keep them open. But take a nice deep breath. Go. And literally blow it out. Make it so that the breath is so strong, so full-bodied that you feel it leaving your physical essence. Do that a few times a day. You don't have to go anywhere special. You don't have to even leave work. You're just taking a moment. Watch what happens. Watch how that aspect of your mind, that right hemisphere, that creative part, begins to really change. Watch how things that stressed you before start to become alleviated. Now, I mentioned before about, you got crazies out there, but yet on the same token or by the same token, I'm seeing all these people tap into that wonderful creative energy. Because it is the holidays, they put on their thinking caps. What would Aunt Sarah like? Or, what's the best thing to get for Cousin Joe? Or, did I get the dog a booty, to hang on the fireplace? When you start to think like that as to possibilities, it is also altering your consciousness. It is also allowing you to shift the state you're in and open up that communication to your higher self, to your own divinity, to the divine, to creativity. And if you're thinking, well, that just doesn't make sense. I think about what I need to do all the time. There's a difference. There's a difference between saying, I need to do something versus what would so-and-so like? What would I like? It's an open-ended question. It allows you to bring in 100 different answers, 1,000 different answers. I'll give you an example. Let's say you want money, and let's say you want a lot of money. Let's say you make, $40,000 a year, and you really want to make $100,000 a year. And you're thinking, well, the job that I'm in, the top that I could hit, because there's a glass ceiling and there is 45,000. I'd have to change jobs. I'd have to change everything that I do. It doesn't even make sense to contemplate it. What if, instead of focusing on the fact that you have a limitation, you start to think in terms of what else could be out there for me to make the type of money I like? Or how many ways could I make money? Or better yet, if you had that money, what would you do with it? Literally sit down and write out 100 different things that you would do with that money. If you made $100,000 a year, you were previously making $40,000, and you want to see a change, write down 100 reasons why you should have that money. And you can't say, oh, because I want to help animals, and then you list all the different animals. That's cheating. You have to write down specifics. So for instance, I would buy a boat, and don't just leave it at, I would buy a boat. Why would you buy a boat? I would buy a boat because I love to be out on the ocean. I love the breeze through my hair. I love to smell the salt water. What else? Okay. Well, how much would that be roughly? Okay, that might be $25,000. Okay, so now you have $75,000. What else can you buy? Well, I would pay off my mortgage for the year. Okay, how much is that? And why do you want to do that? Well, because I would be stress-free. Well, I would be able to have discretionary income that I normally don't have. Well, I could take my kids out for dinner. I could take a trip. I could. The idea, again, open-ended. Write down 100 reasons, 100 things that you desire, 100 ways that you could be happy with money. Do that for all the areas of your life that you feel you want to change. That is a type of contemplative meditation. And yet, people don't call it that. You have businesses that have their employees do this when they are setting goals for what they want to achieve. You have moms and dads tell their children, hey, write down a list and really make it clear. Get in touch with it. We have all of these wonderful spiritual teachings that are so simple to implement in your own life. All you have to do is take the time to do it. Instead of turning on the boob tube, sorry for those who really love TV, but it's just a title for TV that's been with me for years. Instead of turning on the television, I'll be more polite. Sit down with a piece of paper. Write out 100 reasons why you should be in love. Write out 100 reasons why you should be independently wealthy. Write out 100 reasons why you should have the home of your dreams. And again, elaborate. How would that make you feel? Really put in the essence of who you are. You will find that by the time you get to the bottom of that list, you're feeling really good. Not only are you feeling really good, what you've done, whether you realize it or not, is you have opened it up to the universe to work on bringing it to you. The idea that the universe conspires to make things happen is true. And for those of you who think that's a little too woo-woo or eclectic or esoteric, think in terms of the Bible. How many places in the Bible can you find where it says that God wants good things for you? Really? You pray because you're grateful. You pray because you want something. You pray because you exist. Okay, take it further. Say, I know that I'm deserving because I'm a good person. Thank you. And it doesn't matter if you are praying to a particular name or if you are just putting it out there in the universe. You have the ability to create your world. How do you want to do it? Do you want to just keep doing it the same way? Or do you want to make a change? Okay, enough of that. And I think I've said okay probably 10 times tonight. I have to be a little more conscious of that. I was hanging out with somebody who said it a lot. Anyway, the gist of all of this is there's a new year. We think in terms of a new beginnings. We think in terms of how do we make our world better, greater, bigger. It's easier than you think. I'm going to share something really quick because I happen to look over the monitor and I see that Halley Elise does not say Halley Elise, but it's Hallev instead of EY, so that really needs to be modified. So in case you're thinking about going to the website, it's not a V, it's a Y. If you have a problem finding it, just look on Google. It's really easy. All right, let me share some things about what's coming up. The galleries, the psychic galleries, are going to continue on the first Monday of every month at 7:30. We have, obviously, the show that you're watching or listening to right now at 6:30 on Mondays. That may or may not change. You'll have to watch to find out. I'm actually contemplating some changes, but I haven't shared it with anybody except for everybody listening right now. So you'll have to listen again to get the rest of it. We will have meditation class that begins, I believe it's on the first Wednesday of the month of January, if I'm not mistaken. That information is on the website. As well, I'm starting up something that might be really great for those of you who say, all these principles and philosophies and ideas and what have you sounds really great, but I can't really do it on my own. I can't really implement it on my own. It's nice, but, and I really want to change my life. I really want to manifest. I really want to have abundance, but. If there's that but there, what I'm about to say might be really good for you. This year, 2015, I will take on 10 people who are willing to make massive changes in their life. I will share the rest of the information on the website. It's going to be something like, for men and women, if you will, abundance and manifestation. I haven't really figured out the title yet, but the gist of it is a group of us will get together weekly, and it will be via the phone. So you don't have to worry about, but I have this going on and that going on and I can't make it. We will get together weekly via the phone, and we will have a wisdom group. And this wisdom group will enhance really and truly everything. Because when a group of people, a collective, gets together, you have the ability to magnetize whatever your desire is. You have the ability to magnetize outcomes. Quantum physics shows us this. So the reason I'm keeping it to 10 is because what I'm going to do additionally is not only meet with everybody weekly as a group so that we can interact and so that we can share information and grow, but also there's going to be a little bonus. So do me a favor, check the website, HalleyElise.com, periodically, and you'll see all the updates. And I'll see you next week. I thank you. Remember, de-stress, breathe, meditate, create. Have a great night, folks. Bye-bye.
Be enchanted and delighted. Connect each week here on WNN for the Halley Elise Show. Also on Facebook and at HalleyElise.com. Thanks for tuning in. The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its hosts, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.